Complaints of millions of taxpayer money being wasted, vulnerable hurricane victims left in limbo, and no one being held accountable. They're getting the attention of federal investigators after we shared with them what our reporting has uncovered about the Rebuild Florida program. The Office of Inspector General says it greatly appreciates First Coast News for bringing allegations of potential fraud to its attention. And tonight, we're on your side, following the money.
I think that there's a lot of corruption going on. That's my number one reason for having everything stretched out, because a lot of people are making money off of these projects. You can see there's a seam now where they put the new roof in. And
Denise Rodolante joined the Rebuild Florida program to have her home that was damaged during Hurricane Irma in 2017 repaired.
They ordered the wrong windows. This is supposed to help us, and it ends up turning around, and it's the biggest nightmare.
She says she was told the renovations would only take a few months, but they've taken 3 years.
There's no oversight. I don't even know how that's possible.
The state says her project is finished and an inspection report is being finalized and will outline eligible items to be addressed within the program's scope and guidelines.
I never had outside wiring like that before. I was told that's not acceptable.
Rodolante says she's still waiting on Rebuild to finish the work.
You can see the black mold coming through the new ceiling.
And she's not alone. Florida Commerce, which oversees the program, says 3,820 homes have been completed, but 104 have not yet been finished.
How do they spend the hundreds of millions of dollars and the houses aren't finished?
And now a former employee of a subcontractor hired to work on Rodolante's home is speaking out about problems he says he witnessed firsthand.
Very shoddy, like I said. I've been doing this for 25 years of my life, been in construction my whole life. I'm 46 now, so I know the proper ways, the proper procedures, all the codes and whatnot, and none of them are met.
We found Jason Wall through a complaint he filed with the Attorney General's office about his former employer, who he's now suing for not paying him for what he says he's owed.
They're not out to help anybody. They're out to fill their own pockets and pad their own pockets, and that's it.
We followed the money. The state of Florida received a $480 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, to help Hurricane Irma victims repair or replace their homes. The state then awarded a $252 million contract to a third party, IEM, to oversee the projects. Different contractors were paid tens of millions of dollars to do the work or subcontract it out.
Clearly, our main contractor, IEM, clearly some of our contractors, clearly they were okay with abdicating their responsibility. That's
what the head of Florida Commerce told us in May when we took homeowners' concerns to him in Tallahassee. He assured us all of the homes would be finished this past summer.
They must finish it in July. That's non-movable for us.
In July, the contract with IEM ended. Florida Commerce then pushed the deadline to finish the homes back to the end of 2024. For months, we've requested the contract with the new company now administering the program, along with answers about IEM. But the state has not given us those answers. So we reached out to Congressman John Rutherford. He in turn wrote this letter to the HUD Inspector General, raising concerns about the oversight of contractors paid with this grant funding, asking how they are held accountable when they fail to provide adequate assistance or misuse federal dollars.
I could have fixed my house for a fraction of what they've billed. 2 pods, hotel rooms, all this money they've spent on no work being done here. I mean, I can't even imagine what the total just for my place is, and it probably would be a quarter of that if they gave me the money to fix it myself.
The HUD Office of Inspector General, an independent federal agency, has the authority to investigate and audit the Rebuild Florida program to safeguard from fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. And its investigations could lead to criminal charges.
So I hope the feds are going to finally come in and make somebody responsible. I lost 4 inches of height.
While she fights cancer, Denise Rodolante wants this housing nightmare to finally end so she can move back home.
And I really thought they were here to help us, and they weren't. They were never here to help us. They were always here to help themselves.
So now that the state failed to meet its December deadline to finish these homes, we asked Florida Commerce for the new deadline. We're still waiting for an answer. The Inspector General responded to Congressman Rutherford's questions about oversight of the grant money that Florida received from the federal government to help hurricane victims, and said that enhancing oversight of disaster recovery is one of HUD's top management challenges. Now, the letter goes on to say that they found grantees often experience difficulties overseeing their own programs and the programs of their subrecipients. You can read this full letter right now on firstcoastnews.com/rebuild.